So pretty big trade just happened in the NBA tonight. Anfrenee Simons of the Portland Trail Blazers getting traded to the Boston Celtics for Jrue Holiday and 2 second-round picks. You know, Anfrenee Simons, one of the more underrated point guards in basketball right now. 19 points a game last year, elite three-point shooter, 36 last year, but 39 for his career, and can attack the downhill. He's a good scoring threat. He's a 3-level scorer, though the defense is a worry. But the big thing for Boston is with Tatum out this year, gets them closer to being under the second apron. And this deal, once they move either a Hauser, a Porzingis potentially, it's going to open up a mid-level exception. And Simons does have, he's on the last year of his deal with an option. So it is likely that this is a one-year rental for Boston. But the big thing is they get off Holiday's contract. Jrue Holiday, one of my favorite players of all time, currently one of the guys who I looked up to as a kid playing basketball. He just has not been healthy enough. He helped them win that first chip since Paul Pierce. But he wasn't healthy enough last year. His scoring and his shooting have declined a little bit. And it's going to be interesting over there to see what Portland does with him. A team like the Warriors, the Clippers, teams who have money that they can give up and they can absorb in contracts like Bogdanovich, Norm Powell, Kuminga, Moses Moody. Just off the top of my head, those two teams. They may look and go to make that trade for for Jrue Holiday. But Holiday can still help a contender, but it's probably not as a starting point guard, and that contract having another 2 years is a little terrifying. Simons, back to him, his defense doesn't mean much because he's next to Derek White, who's an elite defender, Jaylen Brown, Luke Cornett, who's a very underrated defender, who Boston, it feels like, may have made this trade so they could bring him back. Al Horford, a lot of switchable guys there in Boston, so his defense isn't much of a woe to me. And then over in Portland, Jrue Holiday, if he does stay, does not need the ball. He plays good defense, and he could be a trade deadline accusation. So what I'm thinking is potentially, if they don't get rid of him, they keep him as a mentor to a Shaedon Sharpe, a Scoot Henderson, who I think the big winner of this trade is Scoot Henderson, because we haven't seen much of him because he's had Anfrenee Simons blocking him. This is a salary dump for Portland. It's opening up for their players, their young dudes, and Anfrenee Simons and Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe to have the ball in their hands more. Scoot Henderson is a guy who needs the ball in his hands to be efficient, so I'm expecting a big year 3 leap for Scoot. We'll see what happens. I think Boston does get better without Tatum next year.